let's link it to religion, because I think that uh, things that we do socially is actually more linked to our religions than we think. Like we try to distance ourselves from religion, but these are the things that are part of what defines our lives, right? Like how we live our lives. Uh, I can't state, I don't want to uh, detract from my main topic, but there was this discussion in the past, like, what's the evidence of God? Like, they try to defend the law, right? The Torah. And they think that justice seeking or revenge seeking is actually the sign that there's a God. And without God, there's no justice, right? There's no law, there's no right and wrong. But right and wrong is basically human. It's the most human thing. And this is, to me, after studying some revenge science and psychology, I think that justice is a core of human existence. Although we use that a lot in justifying certain things that we do, like crime. Uh, like most people, like I think everybody thinks that life is unfair, right? Like there's injustice in life, right? And this injustice, this feeling of injustice, can be used or is being used by humans to justify their actions. And this could range from mild to like extreme, right? Even the most hardened criminals kind of has that feeling, like they are somewhat maybe this resentment in life, like okay, let's talk about the law of not abducting your neighbor's wife. Okay, so you think that your neighbor's wife is so much better than yours, right? Or their cows are more healthier than yours, and you think that that's unfair, right? So that's what causes you to want to create justice where you are. So justice is more human than divine. Okay, and when we look at Jesus, right, his message is about, one of his message is about forgiveness, right? And a lot of people don't understand this when he says that love your enemies, and it's some psychopath out there or sociopath thinks that this is a benefit to them, but it's very simple, right? Considering others as your enemy is a basic human trait. Like we try to hide it, but we're competing against each other, right? And there's a deeper understanding to this. It's very subtle, that allowing, that caring for others is kind of hard. It's kind of not natural to human existence. Even if we are in a community and we're helping each other, there's almost this constant competitiveness that is in there, and we actually don't, at its core, right? At its core, let's be honest here, at the core of the human psyche, we really want to use everything as a resource, right? And that's the cycle of that creates the law, right? Or this the idea of the Torah, why the law is there, and it's because of social norms, and that's why it doesn't work. Having laws does prevent certain actions and punishes certain actions, and so this inhibits others from exercising their, like, you're building up all of this rage inside you, right? And then when there's an outlet out there, like there's a small injustice that's been done to you, then you're gonna stone them, and it's That's how the cycle is, right? But then we encounter this being who tells us to forgive, right? This being who tells us that somehow God is not angry. God is not affected by all of this. If you beat him up, he doesn't, even if he feels the pain, he's not vengeful, right? He's not affected by it. But instead, he says he considers humans, instead of punishing them like what we would do, right? He says he defends them, right? He considers them, and he realizes, or he points out that they don't know what they're doing, meaning he cares for them, right? So I think, to me, justice seeking, this is very, there's a science to this. If you want, you can research this, and this creates so much pleasure in our brains. Like this, I was one of this in the past, like wishing for the world to be punished by this apocalyptic vision. That's like a fetish of the brain. It's not holy. It's human. Okay, but when you tell people to forgive, and I was researching about this in the past, because I thought, why is forgiveness the key to everything? Like in the teachings of Jesus, why is forgiveness like the key to understanding what's going on? Why he was on the cross? Why he came? Stuff like that. Why he taught what he taught? And why his teachings kind of uh, creates this conflict in his life that led to his demise, right? To his death. And why was it so hard for others to forgive? Why is it? Because this is part of justice seeking, or revenge seeking. It's part of our nature. Like, it's very delicious to our brains. The researchers said it's like sex or eating tons of chocolate. And I find that while I was in the church, believing all of this apocalyptic ideals, like in truth, in reality, in my heart, I wanted to punish everyone. For what? Like I was like this was very evil to me. This was wrong, because I myself deserve that punishment that I wanted to inflict on others, this wrath, right? That I had in my heart. And this came from teachings. This is a very let's say ingrained, because of all the brainwashing that you go through, and it makes you see things a certain way by by putting you under duress, like your soul is at stake in this thing, and you think that by being loyal to the beliefs that has been taught to you, you kind of get a pass, right? You kind of get a favoritism is going to be upon you, and you're going to be like excused for being the same way as other people. Like, let's look at it. There's a self-righteous thing that is always found in every religion. Like, they think they're better than everybody else, right? This group has the right idea, has the right behavior, has the right practice, and everybody else is like lower than them. And this is, when you think about it, this is like hypocrisy in its finest, right? And by putting themselves in that pedestal, they give themselves this power, or this platform, to enjoy this revenge seeking that's going on in the brain, right? This we call it justice, but it's actually revenge. Like we want to inflict uh, because of the injustice that we feel. And forgiveness is key because it like allows you to just seek for your own goodness, seek for your own blessedness. Like instead of looking at others and cursing them and being wrathful against them because they have, let's say, the person has a more intelligent child, and you have this child that is really low IQ, ADHD, right? And you, instead of loving your kid, you're hating, you're expressing your energy onto that revenge seeking to others. And this is not conscious, okay? This is behind us. It drives us a lot. And this is why I think that the law, or good and evil, is not a God thing. It's not the evidence of God, but forgiveness is the evidence of God. If you want an evidence of God, it's forgiveness, because this is so alien to humans. Humans want to fix, to have everyone equal. Like if I am slighted, if I feel aggrieved in some form or other, I want restitution, right? I want everything to be fair. And we're just sitting here, and mostly, this is why I mentioned the apocalyptic vision desire. It's because people think that at that point, after everyone's been punished, everything will be equal, right? There will be justice. Finally, they will get their justice. And forgiveness is something else. Forgiveness is just letting people have their good in life, right? And this is a complex thing, because when you get aggrieved, of course, there are certain situations that it's very, very tempting to cause the same harm to another person. And when we go into the justice system and see that how we are handling these situations, I think we're on a good step right now. Instead of hanging criminals, we try to fix them, right? And this is why loving your enemies is very important. It's because when you love your enemies, you're not just letting them go and let them do what they want, right? You're studying them, you're seeing them for what they are and what they do, right? You're understanding how their minds work. So there's hope. There's hope of fixing them. And if there's no hope, then you are well justified. Your actions will be more in line with taking care of everybody instead of just yourself, feeding yourself that pleasure of vengeance, right? So you become more. So the person who practices forgiveness becomes more involved in the betterment of everybody, instead of just equalizing what they feel in this isolated bubble that they are in their lives. So this is why it's more divine to point out, if there's a preacher out there, if you want to prove, like if you want to remove say let's remove the Bible, then there will be no forgiveness. Instead of saying there will be no law, there will be law. If we remove all the Bible, then humans will eventually create an autocratic, uh, let's say, like what they're doing right now with all this technology. They want to control people and stuff. That's what we do, because we want to save our assets. We want to make things better, but for us, like if you have the power and we don't want to have to deal with every minute psychological thing that's going on in a person's mind to fix it, you know, we'll just, we'll just control them. We just put them in their boxes. Then we'll have our own box that allows us to explore every other box. So if you remove God in the equation, it's not that we lose law. We actually create law to the extreme. See? And that's how you know. I think that's how I know if this is godly or this is not. Because if it's godly, then it extends to everyone and in a way that helps everyone, right? The healing comes from the root. It includes you and stuff. It's like an alien virus that, corrupts everybody in a good way. We have Judy Ann here. Look, if you had one shot or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture it or just let it slip? I've had experiences like that, Judy Ann. Those were really appetizing opportunities, but it actually depends on what that is, because my principle in life is you don't know, right? If I took those opportunities, my life would be different right now in a bad way. So I'm actually glad that I didn't take those opportunities. So there are things in life that leads up to certain things we don't know. So the best thing when there's opportunity or there any choice in life is to first look at yourself, what you're capable of, what your weaknesses are, what your resources are. Like there should always be a plan A, plan B, escape route. Always have an escape route. So it's very complicated. If you want everything you ever wanted, this is like I don't know. What we want sometimes changes. So let's say I have what I want is really this relationship with someone, for example, younger than me, perfect, pretty, like the ones I see in TikTok, or right. So I'm giving the opportunity to have that. It's not just having that; it's a responsibility, right? So everything must be weighed. You have to. This is risky. Everything can be turned against you. So I guess my answer is I'm gonna have to look at it. I'm gonna have to create a document signed. Let's have lawyers around. Let's see, just to keep everything safe, right? So I guess that's it for me for now. And again, if you were interested, look into revenge psychology or science of revenge. It's very interesting. It's very nice. It's a very interesting subject, and it opens your mind to why, especially Christianity, why the cross matters. And it actually changed my mind from being close to Gnosticism, just Gnosticism, to actually seeing the psychology of there that's going on. Like there was this, I think he was a theologian, right? Or he's still alive right now. And his conversion moment was when he looked at this statue of the cross and he starts weeping, and studying his history. I think it's part of he's been involved in World War II and something like that. So all of this trauma that you have, right? You have all the right in the world to inflict pain. you can project it to others, which is unfair now. You're gonna create more unfairness. Instead of seeking balance, you are creating more imbalance, right? So all of this crazy stuff that goes on in the mind, in our minds, and in our society, I think has a deeper root to this justice seeking that we have. So anyway, that's it for me for now, and I hope you guys have a blessed, a wonderful day. Okay, and have a nice day. Enjoy your day, guys.